to our stock certificate administration software. In this tutorial, we're going to go over all the major features of the software. And if at any point in time you need to stop and review anything, you can feel free to do so. Let's go ahead and get started. Once you've installed the program, you'll be in the administration screen, the login screen, and the username and password have been assigned as user and password for the free trial version. And if for some reason you don't catch that with any of the documentation, we've actually written it right down there at the bottom. So you'll go ahead and you'll do the username and password, you'll fill out that information. And you'll click the login button. And now you're actually in the software program itself. And this is what we call the dashboard. And on the dashboard we have data administration, system settings, help. Across the top we have online resources that at any point in time you can click on to be brought to the website, to that particular resource, so that if you do get stuck, you can either watch the video again or you can go right to our online resources. We have on this dashboard viewing your companies, certificate holders, and certificates. And on this you have the ability to see all the data that's been input for that particular company, as well as certificate holder, as well as certificates. So on here, if you wanted to go ahead, and the way that we usually recommend you start is you add the company first, then the certificate holder, and then the certificate. So in the add company, there are lots of fields that can be filled in. You don't have to fill in any but the company name. Once you've done that, you always want to make sure you save changes before you close the form. And if you refresh the screen, what will happen is it'll show any companies that you added. Certificate holders, when you click on that, and it will bring up all of the certificate holders that are in the database. And so if you decide that you want to just check for a particular certificate name, you can easily do that. One thing we didn't mention was editing a company. All you have to do is click on the company name, and then you'll be brought to the edit screen. Just make sure anytime when you do that, you click your save changes to make sure that it took. And here we have the certificate holder screen. On this, again, across the bottom, you can select adding a certificate holder. Last name is the most important. The rest of it is all optional. So when you're done, always make sure you click Save Changes and then close the form. Again, refreshing your screen will bring up anything that you've added, so you can check your information. Need to make a change, need to delete, then you will click on the last name, and that will get you to the editing screen. Viewing certificates, this shows again all the certificates. To add one, the form looks a lot like the other ones, other than you do have to always put in the cert number, the certificate number, company name, shareholder, and then the type of certificate. Those are necessary for the software and for adding anything in this particular screen. Again, if you refresh your screen, it will show anything new that's added. You want to edit it, you always are going to click on that certificate number screen to edit, to make any type of edits for that file. And if you look on here, you'll see the cert number area. You'll also see date issued, the type of certificates, the number of shares, how it was acquired. Next, we're going to go to the report screen. Company reports, certificate holder reports, certificate reports, stock summary, and printing certificates. So those are all the features in this part of the software. Pretty self-explanatory. You'd want to pick whatever fields you want to make sure print on a report. Select those. Obviously, if you're doing a company, you got to select a company or you'll get an error message. Across the top, all of those menu options are the same no matter what type of report you select. So you can do all kinds of things with that. You can zoom in, you can print it differently, you can change the margins on the page. When you're done, you would just close your print preview. You can also, one other nice feature, you can export it to as a PDF or as an Excel document from there. Cert holder reports, exactly the same way. on that. The key piece of information there is picking a certificate holder to run a report. Again, if you don't, then you will have an issue as far as nothing coming up and getting an error message. And again, the report. That you can easily print right from the screen. Okay, certificate reports. Again, this is important. The key thing to remember here, you can do either by company or certificate holder. So if you have a lot of certificates in your company, this is a good way to kind of see the list, and it was going to show all the fields that have been filled in on that particular record. So if something's not filled, something doesn't appear there, it was never filled in. Stock summary report. This gives you fair market value of your stock on a particular day for classes of shares. You can export it, or you can just preview the report. And if you preview it, again, you'll have the ability to print it. And it gives you different output formats that you can use. Okay, last we have the print certificates feature. This is probably the best part of our software. All the different certificate types that we've loaded are on the right. You also have the ability in this software to actually create your own using the format or the kind of the border of the actual certificate, and then filling in your own data, your own information. So rather than having us create a custom certificate, you can actually go in here and do that. You can add a seal. We have some seals preloaded. You can also add a logo. If you have a logo for your company, you can add that here, and you want to make sure you pick the right certificate style for that, so that the logo has a space to print. And rule of thumb, you have to print your certificate first, and then the seal and logo are printed after that, and you would go back to do that. So with the free trial, you get 3 that you can print. So, you would preview and then print those 3. When you're done, that would be it. One of the last things, we have the user agreement here that we like everybody to read. And then again, the online resources are there, even under the help guide. And we thank you for your time. If we can answer any questions, we're at 1-800-221-3104. And thanks for looking at our software. We appreciate it.